singer R. Kelly was found guilty of all federal charges of sex trafficking and racketeering in federal court in New York. So joining us now to discuss this ruling in greater detail is Chicago-based trial attorney Karen Conti. Karen, good morning to you.
Good morning, Scott.
It didn't take long, just 9 hours for the jury to make a decision. Were you surprised by the verdict or by how quickly it was returned?
I wasn't surprised by the verdict. We had a lot of witnesses over a lot of period of time, and they were consistent in their testimony and what he did. And these were vile and disgusting things. There was beating and abusing and sexual abuse. And I think that angered the jury, and they acted resoundingly. I was surprised by the quickness because the rule of thumb is for every week of trial, there's 1 day of deliberation. And the RICO instructions are very complicated. So I would have thought they would have been out longer than 9 hours, but they were pretty sure in their verdict.
Well, you watched from beginning to end. The defense focused a lot of assertions that the victims were willing participants who wanted something from R. Kelly. As a defense attorney, what did you make of that strategy? And as a result, did it backfire?
As a defense lawyer, you have to pick on the victims. You do. You have to cross-examine them. And, you know, listen, you got to be very careful because these women were abused. And it's clear they weren't women in most cases. They were young girls. And what was going on was more than just they wanted something. Yeah, they wanted something, but then they were extorted and they were abused and they were beaten and they were kept against their will. So you got to be really careful when you cross-examine somebody who's a victim who's already been victimized.
He's facing now 10 years to life in prison. On your experience in court, what is a likely sentence and what factors will be considered there?
Court's going to consider, again, how many victims there were over the period of time that it's expanded. Was he remorseful? He's not showing remorse. And I think the question is, will he do this again if he ever gets out of jail? And all those factors really don't stack up well for R. Kelly. So I think that the bottom line is going to be 10 years, but I think he could do at least 20, if not more.
Will he have a chance to speak at his sentencing? And would you advise him to do so if he has that right?
He has the right to speak and address the court and the victims, but he probably won't, and here's why. He's not remorseful. Like most narcissists, he's not taking responsibilities for his actions. He is a victim himself. So anything he says can be used in the other trials that are pending, in the cases that are pending in Chicago and in Minnesota. So if I were his lawyer, I would not have him address the court.
You know, one last thing here, if I can, with you, Karen. Many people still reacting to that guilty verdict as asking one main question: why did it take so long? Did prosecutors fail to listen to the voice of women of color, or did he get protections because he's a celebrity? Why so long?
Probably a combination of both. I do believe that no one was listening to these victims. They were young women, they were Black women, and I think that the cover-up was great. We had a guy with a lot of celebrity, and I think he was covering it up, and he had people procuring women and paying for them to be kept. And I think maybe it was looked at as a celebrity acting badly, as opposed to what it really was, which was a criminal sexual predator. And I think the fact that the media took hold of this and the docuseries brought to light these allegations, it shamed the prosecutors in bringing these charges.
Fascinating to watch, and for a lot of people, it's a day that they were waiting for. Karen Conti, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Sure.